Hi, Rennie. Welcome to the Power Talk show powered by Business Talks Weekly. Thank you for accepting our invitation and joining us today. Before we start our conversation, can we walk through your professional background and what inspired you to start Executive Help Now?
Hi, Naveen. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I am thrilled to be here and share with your audience. So, what inspired me to start Executive Help Now is the fact that that's what I had always known how to do. So, from the time I was a very young age, I was exposed to office work and to being an assistant to other people. And I just had a natural gift and skill and talent for organizing things and just anticipating the needs of my executives and things like that. So even while I was still in high school, I took all of the business classes and the typing classes and the shorthand and dictation classes, which don't even exist anymore now. But I had just such a love for it, and it just came so naturally for me. So I started working actually in corporate America and honing these skills and growing up the corporate ladder, advancing in my career from like a receptionist to a clerical assistant to an administrative assistant to an assistant to a vice president, and then eventually to the executive assistant to the C suite, which is like the chief executive officer, chief financial officer, chief marketing, all the chiefs. And these high level executives really demanded a lot of their executive assistants. And we were like literally the gatekeepers to protect them from everyone else trying to get in to see them, get on their calendar, get them to go places, just all the different things. And when you are supporting an executive, on that level for like a Fortune 100 or a Fortune 500 company, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. And because I had done that for about 20 years before I started the business, after my kids got out of school, I was like, I still have all this time on my hands and all this passion for serving executives. Really, let me see if I can just get a couple of my own clients that I can still serve in the nights and weekends while I still have my full-time day job with its, paid time off and benefits and health insurance and all of the things. And so in 2018 is when that actually started. And I was able to get a couple of my own clients to serve in the evenings, but my clients kept telling their friends. And so the more they told their friends, the more business I got, which was great. Word of mouth referral business is always fantastic. But now it was like I had my full-time day job where I was working 8 hours a day. And then eventually my side hustle, I called it, I put that in air quotes for those that are just listening, it became a full-time job as well. So I was literally operating on practically zero sleep, trying to manage my work during the day and my business at night. And on top of that, being a wife and trying to keep a house and take care of my husband and just different things like that. And so when I was burning the candle at both ends, I was thinking, this is not healthy. My uncle even said to me, he's like, this is not sustainable. You need some help. And so I was like, yes, uncle, I agree. I couldn't agree more. And so I hired my first virtual assistant in 2020. And that was after the business really started to take off, and I really was truly in need of some support. And once her name is Ashley, and once I hired Ashley to help me lighten my load, I couldn't believe what a game changer it was for me and my own personal quality of life. The quality of my work improved because I was no longer just kind of doing something to get some call it done. I was able to actually operate in excellence again because that's what happens when you put too much on your plate. Things start to suffer. The quality of your work starts to suffer. The quality of your sleep starts to suffer. Your physical body starts to suffer. It's just all bad when you are working too many hours. And so when Ashley came on and I was able to delegate to her the things that I was doing for my clients, and it was like I just duplicated myself. And so I was like, every business owner in the world needs to be able to duplicate themselves so that they can, number one, get proper rest, They can have better work life balance. They can spend some time with their families. They can cast vision for their company. They can strategize. All those things come into balance when you bring on a team member to delegate things to. And so that's why I started the business and why I really started to focus on improving the lives of executives by providing this virtual assistant service.
Absolutely. So you typically work with C-suite and business leaders, right? So what challenges do they face in their day-to-day operations, and where does the virtual assistant come into the picture? How they help overcome that challenges?
Well, most busy so when you get to the C-suite level, primarily your responsibility is to oversee a very large budget. It is to bring in new business, or it is to nurture relationships with other very busy people. You also have responsibility for leading well, being prepared for meetings. Oftentimes, we're on a board. You have to prepare for the board meetings. A lot of times, you may serve an advisory role to other organizations or nonprofits outside of the business. Whatever it looks like, when you are on that level, the responsibilities are constantly pulling at you and vying for priority in your life. So when you bring on an executive assistant or even an account executive, which is what the level of our executives are, they're account executives or project managers. They're the ones who can vet those things that are coming through for you. They can receive all of the invitations, and knowing what your priorities are, they can help you prioritize what things could be most important, or some things that you may be able to delegate to someone else or just send a decline to. So those sorts of things. So an executive assistant or an account executive by your side is like an extension of you, an extra set of hands, an
Yeah.
extra set of eyes, an extra brain to help you think through the things that are the requests of you that are congruent with your vision and where you want to take the business. So that's how we work with our executives.
Understood. Understood. So, Rennie, can you walk us through a typical engagement? What does it look like? Is there any kind of an onboarding you go through with these executives?
Yes, absolutely. The when I have a conversation with an executive and we're doing a discovery call, let's say, and they explain to me what their current situation is. And then I find out from them what their priorities are of these issues that they've related. What's the priority? And that helps me determine as he's or she is sharing what their priorities are. I'm thinking in my brain, who on my team can fill this need? Who can take care of these requests for this person? Because that's my job, is to make the match of the right person to the right business owner. But that being said, so we go through the paperwork with the client, or I send a proposal, and the proposal includes the scope of work that they've outlined to me in the beginning. Once they confirm that all of that looks good, then they pay a retainer, and the retainers are paid in advance. And then we schedule a meet and greet for them to meet their own dedicated virtual assistant. Most of our assistants are US based, and they have an excellent grasp of US business and how things operate. And so they can hit the ground running no matter pretty much what industry you're in, because those skill sets are transferable. So, and that's one of the things that I really like about not niching down so much that we can't transfer the skills to different industries. We can definitely do that, and that's what we do. And so once that meet and greet is scheduled, the next part is so critical. And that is for that executive and that virtual assistant to meet on a regular basis,
Yeah.
because if they get connected and then the client ghosts them for a week or two, then it does not set their assistant up for success. The client wants to set their assistant up for success by meeting with them regularly, because there may be a change in priority. Something may have come up and there's a difference. Now, what you thought was important may not be as important because this other new thing has come up.
Yeah.
So, all of that communication is so important for your assistant to be able to serve you well they need to know what's going on in your life and what your priorities are so they can be there for you and help you navigate through that by scheduling the meetings that are important and kind of putting off the ones that aren't now that the priorities have shifted. Does that make sense?
Yeah, understood. So, Rennie, can you explain me how is this model different from traditional PA, personal assistant, or an executive assistant?
So, our model, I believe, because of our matching and how we match our team members, I have a personal relationship with each of the members of our team. And so I know them, I know their skill set, I've trained them, I've vetted them, I make sure that they meet our high quality standard of excellence. So I believe that separates us because it's much more personal than just matching numbers or letters to see who's a fit. No, I know my team, they know me, and we have a very collaborative culture, and we work together to help solve problems. So if one of our team members is requested to do something that may not be their particular gift or skill, we have a plethora of resources on our team that they can reach out to and say, "Hey, I need this for a client. Can you help me out?" And they do that thing that they specialize in, give it back to the VA, and that VA can then share it with the client. And they don't have to worry about having to do all of the things because we have an entire team of people who they can pull on as resources.
So, personal assistant, they also tend to do some kind of a private or a personal job apart from the professional and the corporate job. Do you somehow, the virtual assistant, cater to the executive's personal needs as well?
Yes, absolutely. We have quite a few clients who are single moms, but they are also very high level executives and they own maybe a few businesses. And so, as that being their personal situation, they might need help with things from around the house. They might need someone to pay their power bill or pay the lawn guy or research, some things that they might need for the house or order groceries or whatever it looks like. We absolutely offer personal assistance as well as business assistance.
So from your side, Rennie, how do you train your virtual assistants or executive assistants? What kind of coaching, consulting, training goes into their development?
So before they can even join the team, there is an arduous, intense screening process. If they make it through that process, that's when our training starts. So because I take such pride in our high quality of work, I have to make sure that the people joining our team are fit to be a part of our team. And so there's skills assessments trainings, even during the interview process, hands-on demonstration that you can show me how to do these different things that I'm asking you in the interview process or in our pre-screening, how they respond to different things. If they're not able to clearly articulate themselves or carry their train of thought to completion, how they communicate as the first impression that someone gets of our company. I need to know that they communicate well and represent our company well. So there are several different opportunities, different aspects that we look at before we actually bring them onto the team. And then once they're on the team, then they're given other professional development opportunities to continue to grow in their skills and just kind of develop on a regular basis, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence or project management or business operations. Those things are critical to our success. And so those are our opportunities for training.
So as you spoke about AI and the tech part, how do you see technology reshaping the executive industry, the assistant industry?
Man, game changer.
Yeah.
100% game changer. Because what I believe right now, we have all of these different AI tools, and right now is the worst it's going to be. It's only going to get better and better and better from here. And it has already increased our productivity. It has already eliminated the need sometimes in different areas to just for whole departments and companies because now they have tools, artificial intelligence tools to help them with things that it used to take a human to be able to do. Now, I'm not advocating getting rid of humans because we absolutely need humans on our jobs and to be able to use AI effectively. So it can't and it shouldn't run our business. We still need people, and it's still that personal touch that keeps our clients coming back to us.
So, what's next for executive help? Are you working on certain integration or a platform that will make your client's life much easier?
Actually, we are. So one of the tools, and it's not very new, it's just we're just getting on the bandwagon, but ClickUp is one of the ones that we are transitioning to that we think is going to be a very useful tool for our clients as we manage projects for them, as we document all the different things that are happening along the way and standardize processes and systems. So I
Wonderful.
really am looking forward to that.
Wonderful. So, what advice would you give to an executive? What the change in mindset in today's technology advanced world?
I would say if they have any hesitation or reservation about using AI, they need to get over it. They need to do whatever mindset shift they need to do, because I think a lot of it has to do with trust. And there are so many times when there's been breaches of our trust, when confidential information has been collected and then breached by some thing that has happened, and then now all your private information is out here for the world to see. So when those things happen, it makes us nervous about sharing information about ourselves or sharing information with others that we might feel is personal, which is understandable because we want to keep our personal stuff personal. But there is a way to share without divulging all the critical personal things that could impact your life. So I would say my advice is to figure out what that balance is. Figure out how comfortable you can get with sharing some bits of yourself to customize your AI responses at least so that you can become more productive in your own day to day and your team can be as productive as they can be as well.
One final question, Rennie. So, can you share with us a case or a story, where a executive was stressed out, burnout, and how you came into the picture and, changed his life?
My goodness. Oh, there's so many to choose from. Trust me. And that's one of the things that the reason why I wake up every morning is that we get to change lives. We get to have such an impact on the lives of our executives because when they come to us, they truly are stressed out, overwhelmed, overworked, needing some support, needing more sleep, needing to be able to eat more meals at home with their family or go to their kids' games. And so one of our clients, her name is Katie, and her case study is actually out on our website. And when she came to us, she was a solopreneur in charge of an IT company. And she was wearing all the hats. She was the marketing person, the accounting person, the business development person, the social media person, the website person. She was wearing all the hats, and she was tired. She was truly tired. And we had met each other several years back and knew each other from then. So when I mentioned to her, or she got a message from me saying, "Hey, I'm still in business. Look, let me know if we can help you." She said, I might need your help. And so we had a conversation, and she said, currently my team tracks their time. So she had subcontractors working on implementations. And as you're into the IT world and you're doing an implementation, you understand that there are like lots of moving parts, especially if you have more than one client. And so she said, currently the contractors are keeping their time in an Excel spreadsheet. Every week I have to get this spreadsheet. I have to hound them for the spreadsheet and make sure all their numbers are in and then calculate all of their hours. Then I've got to convert the hours to pay and then put them into the pay system and so I can get them paid. And she said, it's a lot. It's a lot. If you could just take this one piece, just take that one part, and I don't have to do that, that would be fantastic. So I was like, absolutely, Katie, we can do that for you. And so what we ended up doing, we started out doing it the way she had been doing it. And by us doing it her initial way, we were able to discover how some things could be streamlined and standardized and automated so that this was not such a big deal for her anymore. And so she was open to the suggestions that we had for her. The very first time we ran payroll for her, and all she had to do was review the information, double check it for accuracy, and push a button to run payroll. All she had to do was push a button. She was in tears, Naveen. She was in tears. She said, "I can't believe I've been doing this all by myself for so long.
Wow.
I just can't believe it. This was so easy." She said, "You were here this whole time. I could have called you, and I didn't. I was wearing all these hats for no reason." So, I really am so grateful to Katie for taking the chance to allow herself to be served. Because now not only does she have one assistant to help her with payroll, but she has three assistants that have truly integrated themselves as an extension of her team.
Thank you, Rennie, for sharing this story with us. And thank you again for joining us today at our channel. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And if anyone wants to reach out to me or learn more, they can go to my website at www.executivehelpnow.org. We're on all the socials on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Those are our main platforms, but we also have a TikTok and a X account. But we're happy to help. We also do podcast production services since we've evolved in our service offerings, and super excited to support any of your audience.
Wonderful. Thank you.
My pleasure.